NXT deadline predictions. But before we get into that, it has been reported that there have been two major signees to the WWE Performance Center. We have Casey Navaro and Kylie Ray. Now, we don't know much about Casey. I don't know much about Casey, but we do know that Kylie Ray was with Impact Wrestling and with AEW and has departed from both companies due to an overwhelming schedule. And she had mental health reasons and things along that line. And we do want to highlight that mental health is real. Mental health problems are real. If you need help, seek help. But do you believe that she will be able to handle a WWE schedule, even though she had to depart from Impact and AEW reportedly because of overwhelming schedules, or do you think it's going to be a different situation?
I mean, I don't want to tell her what she can and cannot do. I mean, she's a grown-ass woman who's going to do what she wants to do regardless. But I just think that, like, if you couldn't handle the basics, all right, there's been a lot of people from WWE, past and present, that express of how vigorous their schedule is, how exhausting that it is, that they can't see their families often, that it gets depression. It does not depression. Sorry, my grammar sucks. Depressing. It does get blue. You know what I mean? But they're mentally like strong enough to withstand the schedule. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Kylie has a history in smaller companies. I think with AEW, you only have to go to work like once a week, if I'm not mistaken, unless you work for other promotions or you have a pay per view. She managed to drop out fairly fast, and then I don't even know what Impact schedule is like. I'm assuming you probably do this once a week as well. I just think that that's quite a jump because WWE got house shows, they got pay-per-views, they got events here, this plug-in, this plug-in. You have to be there. There's no backing out once you sign with a WWE contract. Otherwise, you're going to go through hell trying to get out of it unless someone fires you. And this thing that upsets me about her is that she's likable. There's no doubt that if she comes in with the gimmick that we've seen her with on the indies, that she's going to be likable. Like there's no like doubt about that. She reminds me a lot of like Bailey in her early years. But it's just like we live in a day and age where wrestling fans just have a very short attention span. We give up even on the people that we like very easily because of a
Very
bad
true.
booking decision. So to see someone that shows up, then we get slightly connected to her, and then she just keeps, pulling the cord for mental health reasons. Again, like you said, we support mental health here on this podcast, but it's just like if you can't do it, I'm not just saying don't, but be realistic.
Mm.
Be realistic if you cannot handle it, because now it comes off like a manic decision that
Mm.
she would leave wrestling and then choose a more vigorous schedule and just assume that she could handle it. Now, she might prove me wrong, and she may, but the thing is that how are fans going to take for you? Because as far as we know, and from what I'm even seeing on the internet, and again, from my own personal take, a lot of us don't really care to see her because it feels like you already give it up on us twice when we try to like you. You know
Mm.
what I mean? So she's going to have to come back and come back hard and strong if she wants to gain that rapport. Because again, it's one thing, and we talked about this in private. If you're like a Sasha Banks, you're like a Charlotte, you're like a Roman Reigns or whatnot, you're in a top company and you establish that rapport and you paid your dues and you pay your dues steadily to where your fans respect you enough that if you got to pull the cord and you got to take a mental health break or be like Charlotte and go away for your wedding, your honeymoon, all that stuff, or be like a Roman and go away for health complications or whatever. We are waiting here patiently for you to come back. We understand that we know that you're going to come back. It's kind of like with a baby in like psychology. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like a baby just like when you leave the room, just thinks you just don't exist anymore.
Right.
That's what it just feels like with Kylie. That's what it feels like with Kylie. It feels like if she goes away, she'll never come back.
Mm.
So I'm not expecting that while she's here, she's going to she's going to stay for long unless she's forced to and she just stays home. And God knows how Triple H is going to take to that because their women's division is kind of already suffering. We need people who are
Mm.
ready to show up to work and keep up with the schedule. And man, if you can't do it, that's okay. But I mean, she flops here. Who else is going to take her at this point? if she flops here. You already screwed up at two major promotions. This is an even bigger opportunity. If she flops, like I'm gonna feel really bad for her. She's gonna have no choice but to throw in the towel. But no one's gonna want to try, and I can't blame them for not wanting to try. And I'm
Yeah.
a big mental health advocate, y'all. I really am. You know what I mean? It's just that you can't do it. Don't, and that's okay to accept it, or maybe just take a different role that's doable, that's not as vigorous. But go on. I'm sorry. It looked like you want to say something. I just been rambling about Kylie.
You're good. No, you're good. I was gonna say you touched on something that was very, very pivotal. When it comes to mental health, a big, big aspect is self-awareness, right? You need to know yourself. You need to know your triggers. You need to know the environments that you're going into, and you want to know what could possibly send you to a place where you don't want to be. And I think that that's so important, right? Like you need to know yourself, you need to know your environment, and you need to know, like, hey, I should be doing this, I shouldn't be doing this because of X, Y, and Z. So I think that that self awareness is so pivotal when it comes to mental health, and I think that I hope that Kylie Ray has taken in all the factors as far as entering this new work environment because, like you said, the WWE work schedule is a lot more rigorous. With AEW, they meet up once a week, maybe twice a week. With Impact, it's once a month. They do they do 2 days worth of tapings, and then they're free.
She
So
could
it's
handle that.
like, and so it's just like, yeah, hey. So I
Oh
look,
golly.
I don't know what has happened between AEW or Impact and now with WWE. Maybe she has gotten the help that can allow her to endure, and if so, I commend her for that. But it is very, very good. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how this shapes up, and I'm selfishly hoping that this comes to fruition and that she endures, well, selflessly first, because I we want to see that young woman get paid. We want to see her do well, and I think another thing that I'm just very, very intrigued on, the Kylie Ray versus Bailey story is going to write itself. The the
Whew.
opportunity is there. Um of Kylie being the young bubbly personality and her going up against Bailey. I would love to see that. But once again, I just want to see Kylie Ray do well. Hopefully she endures, and I'm sending all my love and my well wishes to her. So we'll see what happens with that. But moving on